Hey guys, Jake here at Arrowhead Rifles. Just wanted to hop on here and do a video going over the scopes that we use on our builds. It seems like in the build process with a customer, when we get to the scope portion of it, there's a lot of questions as far as what you get for the money, that kind of stuff. So yeah, we just wanted to hop on here, go over the scopes that we use and kind of their purpose in our lineup. We know there's a lot of other scopes out there that are great scopes. These are just the scopes that we use and we have found to really like, and they all kind of have a place for us. So this is what we're running with. That being said, let's get into it. We'll start on this end. This is going to be kind of our more budget-friendly scope. This is a Leupold VX5 HD. It's a very lightweight scope. You can see it has a very small profile. You get a lot for the money in this scope. This here is the 3 to 15 by 44 version. This is the one that we use most of. This scope comes in at $1,200. They do go up to $2,100 depending on like your reticle options, your magnification range, that kind of stuff. But on the lower end, like this option here, it's $1,200. So a more budget-friendly scope that you get a lot out of. Jumping from there, we have the VX6 HD. It is virtually the same as the VX5 HD. So they both have 30mm tubes. It's the same locking turret system, the same glass. The difference is the magnification range is going to be a 6x versus a 5x. So like this one here is a 3 to 18 by 44. Overall, you can see the size is the exact same. They weigh the same, which these scopes are coming in at 19.7 ounces. So you're right there around 20 ounces on these scopes. So it's a very lightweight scope. That's kind of where this one is your budget scope. The VX6 is if you want a little bit more magnification out of it, but you're still looking to keep your build lighter. This is kind of the scope that we push guys towards. We've had really good success with the VX6 line. It's probably one of the more popular scopes that we're putting on builds right now. I should also mention that with the VX6, the price point does go up. So it starts at $1,800 and runs to $2,400, depending on reticle options, your magnification range, that kind of stuff. The VX6 line does come with aluminum scope covers. Out the gate, it has the option for the throw lever on the mag ring, as well as it has their internal leveling system. That's going to be, you can use it for shooting. It's kind of nice during the scope mounting process. We do suggest still running a bubble level on your scope if you're going to be using it for shooting longer ranges, just because we find that it works better than the internal level, but it does have it in there. Jumping from there, in the Leupold line, we have our Mark V HD. So this is going to be a lot bigger of a scope, as you can see, compared to the VX6. But you get a lot with that, in my opinion. The price range is fairly similar to the VX6. So these are going to be $2,000 to $2,900, depending on the mag range and the reticle options. This one here, I believe, is $2,200. It's the 5 to 25 by 56. So you get the bigger objective, which lets in more light, as well as the tube diameter is 35mm. So quite a bit bigger tube. Which just lets a lot more light in, gives you a brighter picture of that. I also prefer the turrets on this one, just a little bit bigger, a little bit more positive clicks in there. Again, it is locking just like these. This scope is only available in a first focal plane, whereas these two are only available in a second focal plane. This scope is going to come in a little bit heavier, like I mentioned, so this is 30 ounces. So you're 10 ounces over the VX6 line, so a little bit heavier. But like I said, I do think it's kind of worth it. So for guys that are wanting to run the Leupold scopes, we push them towards this if they're not really weight conscious on the build. Because I do feel like the features are worth the weight in this if you're not trying to stay super lightweight. Jumping into our Night Force scopes. So these are both NX8s, Night Force NX8s. These both have 30mm tubes. They are available in second focal plane or first focal plane. The price range is from $1,900 to $2,100 or $2,150. Really, they're virtually the same scope, other than a little bit difference in the profile. You can see the 2.5 to 20 is quite a bit shorter than the 4 to 32. That being said, the weight is the exact same. Looking at the specs, I found that hard to believe, just because you can see they are quite a bit shorter on the 2.5 to 20. But I went and weighed them, and they both are right there at about 30 ounces for weight. So you're not losing anything as far as gaining weight. Going to the 4 to 32, and I actually prefer the 432. I don't know if it is because it has a longer tube, but I do feel like it gathers a little bit more light, as well as I feel like the eye box is a little bit more generous. So yeah, we definitely, unless somebody's looking to really just, they want a short scope and they want a night force, we push them towards the NX8, or the 432 NX8 over the 2.5 to 20. Jumping from there, we get to kind of our, what we think is probably the best scope on the market right now. This is for sure our favorite scope. As you can see, it is kind of a beast. It's definitely a little bit bigger. This is the Kala's K525i, and this is going to be the DLR version. So you get a throw lever on your parallax adjustment as well as a throw lever on your magnification range. This scope is going to come in at 35.1 ounces, so 5 ounces over the Mark V, a little bit heavier, but again you do get a 34 millimeter tube, so a bigger tube just like the Mark V, and just overall, just a better scope in our opinion. The glass in this, Kala's is a sister company to Swarovski, so you're getting, in our opinion, the very best glass in the industry, as well as you have that larger tube, that 56 millimeter objective, so you're getting a lot more light, so your picture is going to be extremely clear, extremely bright. The other thing that we really like about the Kala's is you have the option to move your windage to either the right or the left side. So when buying a scope, you have that option, which is pretty nice. But yeah, so the guy that's wanting to have the best of the best isn't necessarily worried about weight. This is definitely the scope that we push them towards. This is the scope Luke and I run on our personal builds, and still you're really not, it's, 5, depending on the scope, you're 15 to 5 ounces over any of these other scopes that we've talked about, and in our opinion, it's definitely worth that if you're willing to spend the money. So yeah, that kind of is the breakdown on the scopes that we run on our builds. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to us via phone or email, or leave them in the comments below, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks.